So yeah, because it's election day, let me know if the stream's alright, by the way. If it starts lagging because my OBS has been bugging a bit recently. I've played with the settings. I played the settings just so it doesn't use up as much CPU. But yeah, so election day today. Um, I'm personally not really training too much, but I rate guys that are. I've always kind of got a rule around FOMC that I just chill out. Like I'd rather not be in a trade, but like the classic little Jack the Ripper streams, we're gonna go on the 3 minute and we're gonna try and find a little scalpy scalp. So if there's any spot coins, any charts you're looking at, slam in the chat and we'll have a look. Apart from that, let's go through some 3 minute charts and see if we can find a little scalp like we used to do. But yeah, I'll just rather sit out and watch the fun today. It's like a nice big event. American election, who's gonna win, and it's also fireworks night tonight in UK. If you don't know what fireworks night is, this guy called Guy Fawkes, he tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament in like 18. When was it? Like 1820? I don't know. And he very nearly succeeded, and a lot of people were loving it. They were like, "Fuck the government." But yeah, I think we're just gonna chill a bit today. Maybe set some alerts on some things. Wait for the trades to come to us. Yo, that's crazy. Look at Ponky 4 hour. Could be a long, you know. If we hit weekly open August 1st, then a retest to Q3. It's probably worth having a alert. That low's been tested here. So yeah, maybe put an alert on 427. Just see how it goes. No orders. All good so far. Thank you, boys. Yeah, for context, what is this shit, man? I want to watch it just because.
For God's sake, don't touch it.
Dad, what's wrong with the telly?
Oh yeah, V for Vendetta. I've actually never seen that film. About the 5th of November. What do you mean the 5th of November? Like, in the film, does something happen on it? One sec, let me mute my mic while I watch it.
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for
That's
this.
the emergency channel.
I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility.
It's like some anonymous shit. The Day of Gun. Yeah. I've actually never seen that film. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, Whiff looks also kind of interesting. We've done below this 4 hour. This is also a daily swing, by the way. 4 hour daily swing. Major support and resistance level here. Below. Come back up. Currently rejecting the weekly open, but could possibly get a hold. Let me turn these bands off. Actually, this is the wrong one. This is the 3 minute one. Could be a possible scalp here. Guy Fawkes Day Encyclopedia. Yeah, let me actually. Oh, 1605. I was so wrong with my years. Yeah, this is like our 5th of July. Actually, no, it's not, because 5th of July is independence. I reckon I'm going to get smashed tonight and watch the election. Some fireworks, then the election, a few whiskies, the family. It's always about religion, isn't it? Yes, Fotis. Only joined 3 years ago. Of course, you can ask a question, my brother. Either type in
Can
the.
you hear me or am I
Yeah, yeah,
muted?
yeah. No, I can hear you.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm just joined you guys. So it's only been 3 days since I've become a member. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense of all the indicators and everything.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm in the right group or if if it's a stupid question for everyone else. The Wave Master indicator at the bottom. Any chance of just giving me a brief, what the yellow dots, the yellow dots coming up and little r's, what they mean? I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's the wrong place to ask.
Yeah, I mean, which one are you on?
Wave Master, the indicator, the Wave Master. I've got it on my trading view. That's yeah, that's the one.
This one.
Yes, sir.
So think of this as like RSI, and
Yep.
these yellow dots indicate a trend change also with the crossover. So the crossover can also indicate a trend change, and then the yellow dot is kind of like a confirmation. And then um, these are overbought zones, and these are oversold zones. So when you get them in overbought, oversold zones, it's like extra confluence there, where this could be like a area of reversal. Um,
Yep.
if you've just joined, I would recommend. Let me just link you a very important page, which I highly advise you to go through.
Please do so, please.
Academy indicator tutorials.
No, Max sent me a link, and there was this guy who did a few videos, looked pretty fit as well. I just can't find it. I just can't find it again. I
Oh,
don't know if that's
Who
the one.
Jay?
Is it Jay? Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Let me link you his YouTube as well.
yeah.
So what I've linked you right now is the indicator tutorials on MDX ALGO. We
Thank
recommend
you.
you obviously watching them because they just give you a
Oh,
quick
of course I will.
rundown um,
Of course,
of
that's
how
what
the
I'm doing right
indicators
now.
work. And then I'm also going to link you Jay's YouTube, which is way
YouTube.
much more in-depth um,
Excellent.
explanation. And then if you have any questions, you can just come back or book a call with one of the team if you
Are,
do.
are you a daily? Is this a daily thing that you get on or?
So I stream twice a week, but Viking, who streams in about three or 4 hours, he streams
Yeah.
every weekday before the US market open, and he does like the
Okay.
main market update and stuff like that. And then this is Jay's YouTube.
I think that's the guy. So
Yeah, probably will be. His are more in depth if you need more in depth explanations of how things actually work and like the technicals behind it.
excellent.
So yeah, I'd recommend you going through some of those.
Another question, if I don't know if you can help me. Obviously, I want to connect the trading bot. Okay. Now, I've been watching the people on Banter, specifically Chaos, and they do it using the Wonder Trading link.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously through your side, it's directly. What do you recommend? What's the difference between going through Wonder Trading and just connecting it automatically through the way it's explained on MDX?
So they're actually two different. They're actually very different. So the trading bot on MDX is free, and you can just easily hook that up through one of the licensed exchanges. Um,
Okay.
this is a different strategy which incorporates like a very simple version of Algo Master to just catch swings in the market. It's super easy to set up. You just obviously go to exchange and you follow the trading bot or
Yep.
whatever. Wonder Trading is a third-party system or site used so you can you can like custom hook up some of the indicators to Wonder Trading. So say you wanted like a 4 hour algo master hooked up so it would automatically buy and sell with the buy and sell signals. That's what you would use Wonder Trading for. To
Okay.
basically you can automate the indicators using Wonder Trade, but the other trading bot is just already built into some of the exchanges, and it's a lot easier to do.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, they had a tutorial today, so I'll follow that and figure it out. Thank you. You've been ever so helpful.
No problem, my friend. No problem
Thank
at
you.
all.
Are you based in the UK or are you abroad?
Yeah, I'm in the UK at the moment. Maybe not for long though.
Okay, whereabouts in the UK?
I live in London.
Okay. I'm in Nottingham, that's all.
Okay,
Excellent.
nice, nice.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, brother. So yeah, back to Guy Fawkes. Yeah, let's go back to the 3 minute charts. Oh, okay, that's already gone. Maybe something like this, a second tap in with a green dot, and we could take a little scalp here, possibly. We broke that low, we kind of. Meh, it's not the most highest probability scalps out. Let's check Bobcat. Nah, nah. Also a bit of a no. This was dumping, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, nah, I'm good on that. That's not really tickling my fancy. So, what do we think about the election then? Let's see some predictions. Trump or Kamala? I honestly like. I'll be su- I'll be very surprised if Kamala wins. Like, I've seen a lot more base support for Trump online, just overall. But maybe that's just what my algorithm's feeding me. definitely in London or in the UK, everyone loves Kamala because they think Trump's a actual fascist. Good thing my thing's not lagging. This could also prove to be interesting if we close above the daily open. What's the swing on this? Yeah, like 3%. It's not bad. Yeah, this is kind of screaming short. But not right here. How's Goatsius doing? Mr. Goatsius. I've seen better charts. And Mog's pumping. Okay. Interesting. Not much for me there. Let's go. Let's have a look at the VIX. So, another rejection. Love to see it. The more times this is hitting, though, the more nervous it's making me, especially around the election. Could be that if Kamala wins, market pumps. If Trump wins, market dumps. Both sell the news. I don't know, man. Yeah, you could be right. Like, I feel like markets might have been pricing in a Trump win when we were bumping to all-time high. Also, was it Chaos? Chaos in the chat yesterday was saying that a lot of defense stocks were selling off because they think Trump might end the war, which is quite crazy to me. Actually, not crazy to me because I've been saying that for years. If I were to predict what were going to happen, I would think probably okay. So the most likely thing that's going to happen, okay, the most likely thing is that Trump wins and we do get a sell the news event and the market dumps. That's probably the most likely, like on percentage chances. But then again, if we didn't have that sell signal in the daily, boy, it would be let's go to the moon. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're still upside. We're upside, for sure. But yeah, maybe Dodge will pump instead of Bitcoin. Because Elon will have his S-Dodge title. I don't know. It's weird. American elections are weird because they don't end on the day of the election, right? So, like, it's going to take, what, another few days or a week for them to rig it? But yeah, let's look for a few other things. So, this is USDT dominance, sorry. I should put USDC on this. Not actually too much to say here. We're in a mini downtrend in a macro uptrend. So, actually not too much to say. Let's look at ETH Bitcoin. Still dead. I'm gonna set an alert on ETH Bitcoin. And it's gonna be at 3024. Maybe a bit higher actually. 3015. This is where I think a reversal is gonna happen. What's happening with the old DXY? Okay, we failed at this high. We like it. We want to see a break of February or December. That would be nice. That would be very nice. So have a look at Bitcoin DOM quickly. This just looks like it's gonna go. Keep going. Till at least 63. If not 71. Oh, 71% Bitcoin dominance would be insane. Insane. So yeah, what's everyone looking at then? Give me some coin ideas. Give me some chart ideas, guys. I want to trade just as much as you guys. Actually, I've said that I'm not really trading that much. If you're in a long, I'll be holding you long. Look at that. Popping above the weekly open right now. There's a lot of liquidity above us. 73, 73.7. And to be honest, a little bit below us as well. 66.6. So just at that devil level. Just under this wick. Interesting. There's like major stuff at 64, 64.6 as well. I do think like something like here would probably cap it for me. Obviously that's like a wild prediction, but and I don't really know. But that would also probably save the uptrending structure if you don't break this low, this order block here in Q4, Q3. Obviously I'd like to stay above this on anything, even if we do like this. Would be nice. Would be very nice. Let's look at some of these dino coins. You know what? You know what though? Fet looks good for a spot buy here. I'm already in Fet spot, but that's a good looking shot. Have a look at Dodge. Yeah, let's have a look at Dodge, because this just looks sendy. Let's go on the 4 hour. So I remember this from the daily. That's probably a daily swing. And there's probably a super fib here, actually. Maybe. So yeah, the way you probably could have played this, I actually probably wouldn't have long that unless, give it a second. Actually, what is that? I mean, I guess it's demand zone. The bands would have been there. Yeah, if you long that regain actually, and you're in a long, fine. You could probably hedge that short in the stupid fib pocket here where the band is. Then you'd have a long from here and a short from here, and you could just play it both ways. As of right now, I think it's going to go further, but it's got to go. Surely, with Elon doing all his tweeting and stuff like that, it's definitely got to go. On the daily, I guess there's a swing there. Is this just... Is that its all-time high? No, it's not. Okay, so a weekly close above... A weekly close above 1662-ish means we're going to go test Q2. And then the next level that I'll probably see this test is 2.8. Something like that. But yeah. If you're not in a position here, what I would do is probably take a short with a tight stop loss or risk management here, and then try and long June. That's probably what I would do here. Yeah, we also had a change on retail stablecoin demand. At the same time, we got a green dot here. So retail stablecoin demand is really good at catching the change of trends. So you see when we just dipped here, this candle right here. Let me get a vertical line so I can show you. Vertical line, this one right there. Change of direction, you wait for the close. That one retests, I guess, the swing high, or it could be kind of here, but... And then, I guess it only confirms on the green dot after the next one, but... Which is there. It's decent though. I think it's going to go further. It's got to. It's got to go further. I don't even think that's a valid stupid fib pool, to be fair. Because that's what a higher low. Let's go on this. Let's dodge. Dodge. 15. I don't know. Doesn't look good for a scout, personally. Or... Nah. Nah. Whoops. Yeah, what do you think, Wheels? You in a long on dodge? It's actually nearly that time of year to just long pullbacks on lower lev, and you just start hitting. Nearly. Not yet. Ooh. Down in the dumps. Let's go through some of the big altcoins. Sol. That doesn't look that nice, to be honest. I'm not really a big fan of that at the moment. That looks like a bearish retest of the weekly open. See what the bands are. Nah, I'm not a fan of that. Is this gonna load? Oh damn. You know what? There could actually be a scalp here. Let's just turn the bands on. I kind of missed it already. What's the percentage move from the weekly open? Yeah, that's a worthwhile scalp. Could short into this. What else are we looking at? What's Phantom doing? No, just want to keep an eye on it. Yeah. I mean, I actually think Dodge is going to pump. Just from some silly little Twitter narrative. But Elon could just like start tweeting some like stupid shit like, we're going to make Dodge this payment for something. And people are going to be like, oh my god. And then buy a shit ton of it. It's an interesting one, actually. Horizontal ray. There. Double test. Close above yearly open. And a weekly open at the moment. Where's the band? Show me the band. Of course, it's wicked into the band. Yeah, this is looking bottomed, man. That's looking bottomed. I quite like it. Near long. It's taken everything here, pretty much. This is probably one to keep an eye on. Weekly open hold, yearly open hold, daily open hold. It's all good in my book. Let's do 3665, maybe. Let's see. That one's a bit up for debate, to be honest. I do like that. I do like it. Interesting. How's Ape Chain doing after they announced that ape stuff? Yeah, it's probably just going to come back fully to the base of the move. Damn, why is that band so big? That's crazy. Not too much interest in this, but I think that 8-chain stuff could actually do really well with all the gamblers and the shitcoiners. It could prove an interesting buy on spot. I don't know though. Interesting. What's some other coins that people trade? Injective? What's Injective doing? Oh, dearie me. It's a bit bleak for Injective. I think XRP might do at least 0.5% this. I thought you were going to be like 30% when the ETF gets announced, bruh. I've got a cousin. My cousin, he's like, how old is he? He's like 4 years younger than me. He's like, yeah, I bought so much XRP in 2020. I'm like, oh, unlucky, mate. I was in like Ada and Solana and shit. Matic. They all did 100x. Hilarious. But very unlucky. I still find it so funny when I'm like scrolling TikTok and I get some of the like crypto content. It's actually good because you get to see what the like TikTok normies and like what the people are like digesting. And then when I get those like XRP going to $500 per coin because it's going to be integrated into this whatever, and it's like, oh, it's just so dumb. Like there could be something in it. If I have actually seen some like some reports or rumors that Japan might integrate it into one of their banks or something, because their economy's fucked at the moment. But like, just not really sure that's gonna happen. And even if it does, it needs to go to like $1 trillion or like a few $billion market cap. You think? I don't know, man. I think XRP has a massive cult following where they actually believe that one day it will become like a means of transaction. Which like I hear it, like there's rumors about it being in like ISO 2022 and like used for banking infrastructure, like cross-border payments. Like I hear it, but you know. Yeah, true. You're probably right on that one. And they probably get paid in XRP, so yeah, have 1,000 XRP, make a TikTok. I'd probably do it. To be fair. Not a bad way to make a little bit of XRP. Just have it sitting there if it does happen. Like, imagine it actually does happen in like 3 years, maybe 2 years. because they won their court case, and then like a major economy has problems like Japan, and they're like, okay, we need to switch over, we need to do something drastic. Then they're all gonna be laughing. That'd be hilarious, actually. Rune, big dump. Anyone holding any rune, by any chance? Yeesh. Had some rune last cycle, and I was staking on crypto.com for what's the other one? I think you got like VThor or something. People were making so much money off staking rune for VThor, because VThor would pump like 60% in one day, and then you could just sell your tokens. I don't think any major economy will switch to a monetary system controlled by a company they have no control over. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you're right. A banking infrastructure they can't control is not in their best interest, and there's no incentive to implement it. I don't think it's gonna happen, but imagine one day it actually does happen, and all the XRP like cult are just laughing at us. Like, and they would deserve it, to be honest. But it's only
It'll
just
never
rumors at
happen.
the moment. Oh, hello, Mr. Sir.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Just listening.
Got something to add on the XRP train?
I mean, have fun staying poor. I guess it's it like they're positioned themselves very politically as well, but um, I don't see any benefit to it at all. There's no tangible benefit. The only thing that they could benefit from is, let's say that the baddies win the U.S. election this cycle, and then they start implementing central bank digital currencies, which is their goal. They could tap XRP for it, and then yeah, XRP will do well. But the downside is like we live in like like
Controlled.
techno communism.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it's a lose lose for anyone who actually stands behind like any of the values of what Bitcoin provides.
That's true, actually, because if you're holding XRP, you're kind of banking on it becoming some sort of controlled monetary system. When you could just use
Yeah.
Bitcoin, like you hold Bitcoin as a hedge against fiat. So I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean
It makes a lot of
and
sense.
it's decentralized. I mean, I've become very much orange pilled over the years. Like I was never a maxi until the last couple of years, really, and mostly thanks to like a neighbor of mine who's he's a German guy who speaks very often in conferences and stuff. But the big thing that people don't realize is that the technology and the use cases for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lightning are expanding like rapidly. I wouldn't say exponentially, but rapidly to the point where even in like any major city on the planet, you can go and find a shop that'll take Bitcoin Lightning as payment, and that means there's no intermediary. It's one to one, and the only thing that's frustrating is the setup because none of the app makers have made it. There's a couple that are okay, but very few app makers have made it very, very clean and easy to onboard and easy to transact. It's getting that way. There's a couple that are decent, but for the most part, it's like, you have to convert your Bitcoin into Bitcoin Lightning, and then you have to have an on ramp and off ramp, and then that type of thing. But it's like the problems that people that they're trying to solve on like the governmental level have already been solved on the decentralized level.
It just needs
Quick
streamlining.
transaction. Yeah, I mean, you just need to have a quicker, more effective onboarding, offboarding thing. But for that to happen, you need more centralization, which defeats the purpose. So you have self custody and non self custody Lightning wallets. So it kind of depends on like, are you okay with having someone, or like a company or an app running your centralized Lightning wallet?
Hmm.
Still anonymously, but then technically, it's not actually your Lightning wallet; it's theirs that you have access to. Or if you want to run like a decentralized one and run your own nodes and stuff like that, which is way more complex. But
Yeah.
it basically then it's like I know several people in like my local Bitcoin community that are in the same boat because they've gone down the rabbit hole. They run a bunch of their own nodes. One guy's like a I don't know. He's almost like he's almost like a pirate in a sense. Like he'll actually go and implant Raspberry Pi nodes, and he's like secretly put them in like 3 or 4 different places around the city.
That's crazy.
Just but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like people don't even know how money works. Like the credit card, like if you go to the grocery store to buy groceries, it's not like your money goes directly from your debit card or credit card into the grocery store's bank account. Like it sends a paper IOU, which they reciprocate, which with a received paper trail, which goes through then several intermediaries to process, and it generates effectively like a credit difference because it's an in transit transaction when it's really not moved yet, and they could basically balloon value or the value of that transaction out from like a banking level, and that's how like the intermediaries make all their money because effectively it generates for a period of time free capital that they can then deploy how they want because they know they don't have to pay it all back right away. It's just a giant Ponzi scheme.
Mm.
Comparatively, you have Lightning where it's like here's some Sats, cool, I got it. Here's the product or service, and then
Yeah.
like you're done.
You can send Bitcoin so fast with crypto.com as well. You can just send it to someone's number instantly.
Yeah, but again, that's a centralized system. It's not it's not like it's decentralized to like your
Yeah.
address. Like it's still crypto.com's thing. It's like money on an exchange, right?
Mm.
Money on a crypto exchange is this, or crypto on a crypto exchange is the same as money in a bank account. It's not your money, it's not your crypto, but you have access to use it at least while they give you access.
People
So
might
it's
like
kind
it
of
though,
like
to be fair.
yeah, it's fast.
Like
I mean,
some
it's
like some
fast.
older people, if regulation actually gets brought in where it's like, oh, if there's some way you can claim fraud on whatever. I don't really know how that would work, but some older people probably like holding it in a centralized exchange because it's too complex to have it decentralized.
Oh yeah, like 99% of boomers have no chance.
Mhm.
No, they've been technological laggards already, and this type of technology they're basically just that percentage that's left out of the entire market for the most part.
Mm. I was talking with my dad yesterday, and he was telling me how when he was growing up, they had 10 to 15% inflation, and it was normal. And I was like, inflation
Yeah,
is just like
yeah,
the only thing that like he thinks it's normal to have inflation. It's just like that's the only way you know. And then we were talking about like gold and stuff and like fiat, and he just doesn't get it. Like it
yeah.
just
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
compute
again,
in his
it's
mind.
exactly. But I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of bank rates, I mean, look at the '80s. Like my father-in-law, he bought his first house at a 13% interest rate
Mm,
back in the '80s.
yeah,
So I mean, and that wasn't even as bad as it got. It got up to like 19%.
yeah. Got a little update out on your YouTube. How have the ads been going?
Oh, I just ran the one and nothing actually came from it, so I think I fucked it up. But I mean, only put
So
like $50 on it.
50 on one.
No, just to try it to see if it worked. But
So I okay, what you should do, put like 5 or 10 on 4 different videos at the same time for 2 weeks, and then do like USA, United Kingdom, Canada, India, like Australia, the English speaking countries, and then try that. Definitely try that.
hmm. Yeah, I think then for that though, because I just do like daily updates, I'd have to do like other content, like how to content, like how to trade and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
maybe. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think people would like your content because it's just short, it's sweet, it's every day, it's a little update, it's like straight to the point. I think people would like it.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see. Well, we're at the break. Well, we're at the break for Bitcoin. What do you guys think?
What do we think?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
had
I'm
this
of the
pocket.
mind that if we don't gain from here and go up to retest stuff, we're going to break down
Hmm.
like to low 60s.
Oh,
That's
we've
my thought
broken
from
below
what we
this
did
weekly
yesterday.
open.
Yeah, we did, but we've regained it pretty strongly. The question now is if we can hold the low now or not. That's my thought, at least.
It's
There's
getting
some
interesting.
divergence, some bullish stuff, but
Yeah. Personally, I said like, oh, I wasn't really gonna trade too much yesterday, because I did see this Stuber, and I was like, oh, it looks good, but then I was like, let me just sit this one out and watch from the sidelines.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a big drink up, fireworks night, election night here, so
Oh gosh, I just want it to be over with. I'm so done with it.
yeah, me too.
I'm actually looking at upside right now in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I mean, it's still upside continuation. Like,
I didn't catch any of it though, just because it was the middle of the night. But I mean, the flip happened at like 67.8, and the daily open there. Actually, yeah, right around there, 68K, 67.8. That regain. But
this one here.
yeah, we got people. We broke bull brains for a quick bit, so everyone's been aggressively shorting since like 2 o'clock this morning,
Yeah,
which is good if we want upside.
it's good. It's good. What's the long short ratio now?
It's come down a lot. I think it's down to like 55. It's collapsed from being like 60/40 long short to like 55/45
Oh,
long
that's
short.
crazy. On the 4 hour, that is wild.
Yeah. So, and then you're seeing the taker buy sell volume. So that's another thing. If you do look at long short ratios like on CoinGlass,
Mhm.
if you're looking at the taker buy sell volume, that's a good indicator of people reversing. So if they start flipping really hard, smashing the red button, taker, that's a good sign. Just make sure that it doesn't correlate with lots and lots of like liquidations, because then that could just be the liquidations. But if
Mhm.
there's not a whole lot of liquidity, then or not a whole lot of liquidations, then you're literally just seeing that kind of people smashing red button because we're retesting stuff bearishly.
Mhm.
But it's no real confirmation yet. I mean, we're still trending down. Like, let's be honest, but we could do some stuff here if we hold that. If we all we need to do is really hold a low. That's all you got to do.
I think
Pop
there's
a
quite a good
high, hold a
chance of
low.
holding here.
I'm supremely uninterested until these shenanigans get over with. I hope it's just a landslide Trump victory, and they call it early.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
the ideal move,
Me
because
too.
otherwise it's just going to get the longer it drags out. Like if it drags out for a couple of days,
Mhm.
like the higher the chances they're going to magically find votes and Kamala gets elected, and
Uh huh.
also the more unrest it's going to cause.
Uncertainty. It's gonna be like,
Yeah,
oh, the market's just gonna be waiting as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the normal markets are waiting as also they're just chilling, waiting for this thing to play out.
Yeah, not a whole lot happening right now. I think it's gonna be one of those days. If it takes an East Coast blue state early, it will have a big impact. It will. Hopefully, like
What is it?
Nevada or Arizona. Are you talking about East Coast, like proper Bluey
Yeah,
Fortress?
yeah. So he's talking about like
Okay, okay.
East Coast swing states. Not that it's super swing state, but like Georgia, North Carolina.
Yeah, they are swing states.
Yeah,
Virginia, Virginia. That's where Stefan is.
yeah.
He's better be doing his bit for the crypto bros. Yeah, unfortunately, everyone in London is like super. So the media in London is like all it's like parrot the same lines as CNN and all that bollocks. Like, so they like people in London they genuinely think Trump's like a fascist or like racist. Like they have no idea. They all they see is like headlines of America and like headlines The Guardian. Trump Nazi rally 185 years on. And they're like, oh my god, he must be a fascist.
Yeah, I mean, it's depressing to see how many like retarded communists live among us. I mean,
Oh my god, so many commies, bro. When I was at uni 2, 3 years ago, it's making a comeback. All these young teenagers like communism, communism. You're like fucking hell.
well, I mean, that's not like they're their own ideas. And then they get rash. I mean, then they start saying stuff like, "Oh, but that's in a perfect world,
Mhm.
communism would work perfectly." And it's like, no,
You
you've never
don't
read
live
the
in that.
manifesto. Well, no, no, no. I mean that. I mean, even on the right too. It's like very few people have actually taken the time to read the Communist Manifesto, where he's legitimately calling for extermination and genocide as like a key core aspect of seizing power.
Mm.
Like that's the part of the whole thing, which is you have to. So,
And you only have to look at history to back that up.
well, yeah. I mean, what in the 1930s, before anything in World War II happened, then there was what 30 million, mostly European Christians, were genocided
Mm.
based off of communism. All the philosophers, doctors, high intelligent people,
Mhm.
leaders. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's to me, it's like they're the useful idiots that they're the same kind of people who would be like crushed by the boot of it once that type of system took over,
Yeah.
which is just wild to me. But I don't know. It makes me sad. But I did a fair bit of trolling back in the day, back when I was in college years ago. Um, they put up flyers on like, hey, we're having like a communist Zoom link or something like that, and I would share that on 4chan on poll and be like,
Yeah, that's funny.
no, it was great. I'd be like, friends, I'm in dire need. I need your assistance. And then I'd tune in, just Pepe's and guys with like Nazi uniforms and like, oh, it was the trolling was like next level back like into like 2016 and stuff.
That's hilarious.
It was
That is hilarious. Spoke to a friend just tonight from Liverpool, UK. He said Trump is a dangerous man. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what everyone thinks here. It's really it's like it's California amplified, especially in London.
yeah, I don't know how to fix it either. I mean, it's kind of like you almost need to just let the whole thing collapse for people to realize like how untenable the situation is.
I think people
But
are beyond help, unfortunately.
yeah, I hope not, but that seems certainly seems that to be the case at the moment.
Like politics has become such a tribal thing where it's like charged with so much emotion and virtualistic like signaling that they could
Yeah.
never even like you can't even say Trump's name out loud. People get triggered, bro. Like people are actually triggered because they think he's genuinely a racist or a fascist. So
I mean, in my mind, the funniest thing to me, because I'm in my 30s, like it's not my first rodeo with elections and craziness, but the the weirdest thing to me, it's like, okay, he was already president for 4 years, and the track
hmm
record was
amazing.
majority good. Well, it's majority good. There's still a lot of bad things, but yeah, majority good. No new wars is a big one. So we know he's not a fascist or a dictator because he would have done it in his first term.
hmm
And then you have, you know, all of the craziness that led up to the last cycle, and then like this cycle and the 2016 cycle. It's just the same rhetoric getting like amplified because there's no accountability by the state-run media corporations. So they take everything out of context, and then they use the simple psychological trick of repeat the lie over and over again until it
hmm
becomes truth,
Trump
and
abortion
that's
man.
what happens. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous. And or yeah, Project 2025. Like,
Oh, whenever I see someone
yeah,
say, I saw a Mark Ruffalo interview and he started talking about that on stage, and I was like, you're just gone, mate. You just get out of here.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not a giant MAGA nut pro Trump guy. Like, his politics are not conservative. His politics are not like wildly. But I mean, he's literally a Democrat from like the '90s,
Yeah, yeah,
and
100%.
that's
His whole team are basically former Democrats.
yeah, like they're '90s Democrats. So like, there's nothing conservative about what his platform. Like, let's not pretend that's the case.
Hmm.
But everyone's. I mean, he's not going to bring back, you know, like sanity and morality. Like, that's not his platform. But which is what you actually need. You need a recall. And I mean, this is going a little bit further into like kind of cultural cycles. I mean, there's a great book called The Fourth Turning, or which basically outlines, like, from about 400 years ago, um, history has gone in cycles of, like, you
Hmm.
know, basically the quote, strong men make good times make weak men
Weak men,
make
yeah,
hard
right.
times make strong men.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Yeah, and then that's just quantified by actual evidence and generational cycles. The fact that most people die, they get maybe, two generations. You see your grandparents, your parents and grandparents, and maybe your great grandparents when you're a young kid. So that kind of like cultural knowledge of the society that benefits people the most kind of dies off.
Hmm.
So you end up having these different ages that are like the golden period.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so like post World War II is like the golden
Yeah,
period
so
of
like the
like
boomers.
40s, 50s, yeah, early 60s, and then JFK gets assassinated, and you go into like this Enlightenment phase where a bunch of hippies and queers and stuff starts getting bad, and then you have like the transformation where they, infect all of the society, the universities. They spread everything away from, like, a collectivized unity group of people into like this splintered individualistic thing, and then now you have our society, our current one, which is, basically the end times of the cultural cycle of, extreme depravity, total lack of morality, extreme individualism, total. All of the institutions are effectively exist to punish the people, and then you have to go through a revolutionary cycle where things get destroyed and broken, and then the pieces that get put back together lead to like the golden age periods. So,
Hmm.
which is, I mean, it's interesting, it's exciting, but you can go back and like see the periods before that, and that's effectively everything going back 400 years at least that we
Mm.
can like pinpoint, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds cool.
it's an interesting book to look at it, because it's effectively just means that, you know everything has to go in cycles, and everything goes in. Our generational knowledge dies with our grandparents nowadays, to the point where like the vast majority of people probably don't know who their great grandparents were, don't know
Mm.
what they did, don't know like their lives and how they lived. And even most people nowadays don't even know who their grandparents really were, or as people. They might not even know their names. So it's a bit of a weird one when, like, all of the knowledge and benefits of societies that were more prosperous before us have been effectively lost.
Mm.
Uh,
It's
but yeah,
crazy
that's
to
just a
think
little.
about. But I
Yeah,
definitely
and it
agree with
makes
it.
yeah, it's an interesting thing, but I think the big thing is what people are looking for is like for Trump to. He's not going to pull everyone together. Like, if he wins by a landslide, which I don't get me wrong, I hope he does. I think he's going to be like a big destroyer of the system, because he's just going to like
Oh,
swing a
100%.
sledgehammer, and which I'm hoping he does. Like, you have to you have to destroy 70-80% of the federal government. You have to, fundamentally just literally fire half the 2/3 of the entire federal government to make any
And
changes.
completely
Break up.
slash the spending.
Yeah, but that also could. It's probably going to lead to extreme market turmoil. So you'll have to like break up Alphabet, Google. You have to destroy it. It's a trust. You have to destroy data collection and make that, codify that in law as like a personalized thing that can't be shared. That type of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to break before you can even think about rebuilding.
I definitely think a second Trump term, like when it's happening, people will hate it on the other side. But after, I think it will be like one for the history books. Like, people actually properly appreciate Trump after it's all over. Even like people who were on the other side and didn't like him, I think after all the dust is settled, he's gonna have a bit of a legendary run, personally.
Yeah, I hope so. I
Just
hope he
like
does good
just like
things.
the first term, like I think a lot of people didn't like him because one, they didn't really know him, and two, he was a bit of a loose cannon in 2016 when he was running, and then after, if you actually do your research into his term in 2020, like he actually had quite a good term. That's definitely what changed me.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And on the flip side too, is like, you know, if Kamala wins, which, you know, given everything that I've seen from both looking at polls and looking at stuff that's happening on the ground, stuff on Telegram, stuff from private journalists and stuff like that, like trying to get the full spectrum kind of
Mm,
idea. I just don't see it. I don't see that happening unless there's a significant amount of, let's be realistic, voter fraud, which occurred in 2020 with mail-in ballots and stuff, which is another system that needs to be destroyed. Like you can't, you need to have same day in person paper ballots and
hmm.
call it a national holiday and do it
Yeah,
once every 2 years. So you have the, you know, the Senate and Congress as well as the national election. But it's I don't know. It's just and even if she does win, like I said, like I'm not one of those. We're all gonna die. Time for the guns. Like I just hope that she does a good job, or not doesn't fuck up any more than everything's already being fucked up.
I have no hope for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't
I
have
think
any
she's
hope
a
for it.
worse
But
Biden, unfortunately. Just like a more woke left
well,
wing
I
Biden.
think I don't. Well, the thing that scares me the most that nobody on the left talks about is like nobody even knows who's running the country.
Right, exactly.
Like nobody can name a person in their cabinet that's running the country because Biden's out to lunch. He has dementia. We know this. That's why he was removed from the ballot. Otherwise, he'd be running another term.
Hmm.
Kamala, like, you know, they hit her away. She was had no public events for years, really,
Because no
or if
one
they
liked
were
her.
very small. Well, yeah, and now she's like all of a sudden she's progressive Jesus, and it's it's bizarre. But then like that's the whole thing that doesn't like sit well with me is, you know, say what you will, at least we know if Trump's in charge, he's actually in charge. And like if she's in charge, then it's probably just the same people that are currently running the show
Yeah,
continue to run
100%.
the show. Because I don't even know who's running the show. Like I know there's a lot of conspiracies and stuff. Like hell, it could be Barack running the show. Who fucking knows? Like no one has any idea from like unless you're like involved in that system by somehow or you have some type of insider thing. But it's
Mm.
not like it's common knowledge. So
It could just be like a
which is not
coalition
democratic.
between BlackRock, pharmaceuticals, military industrial complex, like all these vested interests could just be like pushing pushing agendas behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, it's that's the fear, of course, is like if it nothing changes, it only gets worse. I mean, I think it's not an irrational argument to say that if Trump wins or doesn't win and Kamala wins, then there's never going to be another Republican president because the sweeping amnesty will then give, you know, they're saying there's 20, maybe 25 million illegals. I'm assuming because that was kind of the consensus 10, 15 years ago that it's probably closer to 40 to 50 million illegal immigrants in the US,
Yeah,
potentially more. Like nobody has any idea. But I mean, even just if say 10 million illegal immigrants got amnesty,
in the swing
you'll never
states.
have. Well, not even in just the swing states. It's like the way that the population disperses naturally around a society. Like it's like Reagan. Everybody was like, "Oh, Reagan's so great." Reagan's a fucking idiot. Like he's the reason why California flipped from like a Republican stronghold to blue forever because he passed amnesty.
Mm.
So it's kind of like demographics it plays a massive role in your country, and when you fundamentally change that, you have to look at the how these people vote specifically, and they always vote
Democrat.
like vast majority left wing, and that's what they're banking on. So
That's definitely a
it's a very
conspiracy
under
theory that I agree with. Like I definitely
well, it's
believe
not a
it.
conspiracy theory. I mean, it's quantifiable, but it's statistically accurate. It's not a conspiracy. I mean, people who are in non-west or who come from non-western countries into western countries vote far left more than they vote anything else because they get the most benefits from those, you know, leftist socialist societies.
Hmm.
It's not it's statistically accurate. Like you can break it down by any demographic, and that's the way it you know the ball falls.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a weird one, but you know, and I'm here in Europe. just
Yeah.
hoping to like stay the fuck out of it. Because
Let's go through the chat
I
quickly.
honestly,
Yeah, go on.
yeah, I honestly just don't want to. I just want it to be over with.
Yeah.
I
Just bring
really
on
don't.
next week so we can start trading again.
Yeah, because if she wins too, I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, but crypto's gonna die." It's like, no, we'll get probably bad retracement, but then as the economy's starting to fail anyways, which it would fail in the next few years anyways. Like, not maybe not fail, but we'd have a sharp recession at least in the ballpark of '08. Then the only way to get your way out of that is, oh, we economic incentive checks, so everybody gets checks. Inflation goes another 30, 40, 50%. Then what happens to the markets? You get another, 2020, 2021 cycle.
Yeah. Speaking of headlines, I saw on CNN that there will be violence after the election day. Kamala will surely win, and the Trump supporters will engage in violence because they are angry. And Kamala supporters will engage in violence to calm them down and due to celebrate too much.
Is that fucking for real?
I
I
don't
mean, that
know.
doesn't surprise. That doesn't. I mean,
It's
like, I don't know.
CNN.
Nothing really. Like, nothing even surprises me anymore, and I mean that in like the worst way possible. Is that nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah.
But I will say, if Trump wins, like, it's going to get rocky, like really rocky, at least for a week or two, maybe even longer, depending on how long the vote takes to like fully count.
Who do you,
Because
what way do you think there'll be more civil unrest if Trump wins or if Kamala wins?
Kamala for sure. I mean, they all of the NGOs that fund the Democratic Party and all of the rallies and stuff. Because um, I was interested in like to see like how are these people like all these people showing up to Kamala rallies when she's not doing them in cities, like when she's doing in them like more rural zones or smaller towns and smaller cities. And they're paid. They're paid, and they're busing people in from metropolitan areas, and the people themselves are getting paid because she's raised 3 times as much money as Trump at least.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I think that's just like something that sticks out to me as probably like insidious to some degree.
Queen Beyonce as well.
I don't know. It is like, say what you will about the Madison Square Garden rally where because I watched different I've watched her rallies, I've watched his rallies, and the Madison Square Garden rally they had Tony Hinchcliffe, who I find absolutely hilarious, and the joke about the Democratic Party is looking like a P Diddy party, and it's like
Yeah.
actually all of the people coming out and endorsing
Yeah.
her are people that are directly linked to like the P Diddy sex
Definitely leverage
trafficking.
on them for sure, 100%.
It's just I don't know. It's like I don't want to believe these crazy conspiracies. I don't want to think
But it
that like we're
makes
all like the
sense.
world.
It
But like
just
I don't want to
makes
think the world
sense.
is run by a bunch of like pedophile, degenerate elites that just do these crazy occultic satanic shit. But then
It's so crazy to think
they need to
about
stop
how.
doing it. Like they need to stop like doing shit in the open like that.
And
Like
also, people like Mel Gibson has been trying to say this for like 15 years, and like, why would he lie about that? Because his life's like ruined. Why would he lie? Like, he's been trying to talk about like the paedophilia in Hollywood for 10, 15 years online. And no one believed him.
yeah, I mean I don't want to believe that stuff is true, but at the same time it's like then why is all the evidence like there?
Mhm.
I mean, it's like what are we now? It's 20 it's 11 it's November 2024. Not a single client of Epstein has been thrown in prison for all the evil things that are potentially done.
They're
Like
all
what the fuck
endorsing
is going
Harris
on?
Biden
Like
regime.
yeah, but I mean even whoever they endorse, I mean it doesn't matter. I mean, it's when stuff like that happens and then nobody gets punished.
Yeah, it's fucking
Like
crazy.
what? And then they change the laws to get Trump counted with like 34 felonies.
Mhm.
They literally changed the laws for statute of
Yep. I
limitations, and
know.
those laws.
I looked it. I looked it up.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way they changed the law. It's like, yeah, they changed the law for the statute of limitations, and then that statute of limitations change expired the year after they prosecuted him,
Mhm. Or the year
which
before.
is wild. Yeah, exactly. So, well, no, it's the fact that they changed the law so that after they had
Oh, okay,
prosecuted
yeah.
him, they would
But
go revert
it
back to
was
the.
meant to run out the year before.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't know, man. Like
If that's not lawfare, I don't know what is. Because it's
but
like,
again, it's like
what
I
he did,
just want it to
it's
be
not
over
even
with.
illegal, bro. What he did isn't even illegal. Like
I
he
just
paid off a porn star. Oh no, that's not illegal.
I just at the end of the day, I just don't care anymore. I want like this to be the end of like the crazy cycle. And honestly, listen after listening to JD Vance talk, because I mean I try to listen to Tim Waltz, but that guy, there's something wrong with that dude. And
Tampon
there's
Tim.
something there's something in the eyes, man. When you look at someone, it's just there's just something wrong there. I don't know. I can't pin it down. Maybe I know I'm biased. I'm sure, but and then like hearing JD Vance talk on the different podcasts he's been on. I've been watching. I've watched like two of them, and and then I've watched like a bunch of clips from different ones he's done.
Mm,
And he's smart. He's fun. He's
bro,
articulate.
he's just a
But
normal guy as well.
yeah. Well, he's stately, right? He speaks calm and cool and articulate and collected.
Hmm.
And I want to go back to that. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like one of the craziest things uh, that I remember from history was I think it was the Lincoln debate back in God, I think it was Douglas he was debating against. They spoke in like 4 hour debates back then, like the presidential candidates. They spoke for like 4 hours
Mm,
or
definitely don't
something
get
like
that
that,
anymore.
3 or 4 hours. Yeah, and now it's like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of like gotcha bitch and like back and forth, and like that's the whole thing.
Controlled debate. Mute your mic.
Yeah, but I want to go back to that. Like, imagine if you had, next cycle, the presidential debate is Joe Rogan sitting there with like the two candidates, and they have to talk to each other like human beings for like 3 hours
Yeah.
instead of, you talk. No, now you talk. That's incorrect. That's a fact check. And then go back to the next one. And it's just, I don't know.
No, I
I want it to
definitely
be
get you.
actually democratic again, or, that part of it democratic and civil. But I don't know if we can get back to it. We'll see.
We might be too far gone. His mandate needs to be reducing the size of federal government so future administrations can't completely take over society. His team in this session is amazing. 4 years of Elon and the boys with a hatchet on the federal government will put the commies back decades. Yeah, for sure. Although the problem is that the other side think that's what he's going to do, as in he's going to take away a lot of freedom by doing that, because they genuinely think that he's a fascist. But I do agree. Elon, like, yeah, Elon could slash a bunch of shit off the UK, off the US government. I mean, he's done
Yeah.
it with all his
Secretary
companies,
of
right?
Secretary of Doge.
Yeah, just do it for the memes. He's done it with all his companies, right?
Yeah, I mean, what was that? The simple company or the basic company, the one that made the this is not a flamethrower. Flamethrower.
You should have got that. You should have
Yeah,
copped
but I
one of
live in
those.
Europe, so yeah. I mean, it's not super strict here. It's funny, regulatory wise, it's actually less regulated in a lot of European countries, especially for business, than it is in the U.S. Which people don't believe me when I say it. It's just the welfare state is a giant overburden, but it's it's funny to say the least. Like the regulations in the U.S. is basically designed to keep the largest actors having market dominance. That's the majority of the regulation, unfortunately. Which it exists here too. Don't get me wrong, because they use tax warfare against smaller companies. But
Hmm. Yeah, good luck getting that in London.
yeah, I don't know what I mean. What are you guys gonna do there? Like, you guys are done. I mean, Vance had a funny comment. He's like, "What's the first country that's like Islamist country that's gonna get nuclear weapons?" And it's like, probably the UK.
Yeah, I've seen that clip, but don't Pakistan have like a nuke? Or am I
Yeah,
tripping?
they do. But I don't think they're Islam. I don't know if they have a more secular government or if it's Islamist. Like, sure, I don't know how it works over there. I've only I've only set a foot in Pakistan once. Never like been there. Been there.
Oh, okay. Crazy. Definitely crazy. Take a look at Phi on Ether Uniswap. About to close 4 hour regain November. Quick
That
upsy
boring
trade
company.
possible. Quick upsy trade is possible, my friend.
What is this? Phi?
Fidium. I have no clue what it is. It's quite new. Like a year.
Fidium? Is that
Fidium.
it?
Yeah, Fidium.
Fidium? Fidium?
Fidium. Boring company
It's at its
shitter.
macro. It's at its macro hold level.
Yeah.
Um, it's a little sketchy still because it broke its list low, which is not the biggest deal.
Fidium.
I would be much happier if it closed back above like 0.45. 0.000.0045, I think, is a much better target because you're still in a collapsed mode right now. And realistically, the next major level is like 0.054, or is it 0.045 is like the aggressive trigger, and 0.055 is like the more realistic. Like, okay, we're actually creating higher lows now.
I kind of like it.
So in my mind, it's like the safer bet, but I don't
Yeah,
know
for
what it
sure.
is, and all it seemed to have done so far is like it's had a full parabolic down move with a break that did a nasty retest, and that was pretty much it. Like, didn't I mean it barely retested anything, just like a pretty centralized retest, and then rejected. Yeah, it did it. It did like back up to 10. Okay.
I think this regain's quite significant. It's also the base of the move. And we're getting a buy signal on the 4 hour ALGO master, so double wick into the band. It's not too bad.
I mean, basically, what you're looking for now as a hold is that it can never go back below um, the low it just did. Obviously, that would invalidate any upside move. But even locally, it actually has some pretty good stacking. Yeah, like I said, I'd be happy if it gets back above 0.045, just because it's been so historically weak. But this is the one that has to run now, or it's not going to run at all.
I agree. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, brother. Someone knows where Mark Cuban buried a body from a Diddy party. Anything that makes sense. he's uh,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, dude,
he's just
I
God.
I don't even know. I mean,
We had the
I have
same
no
reaction
insight.
there.
The one thing I will say is that like 10 years ago, when I was stationed in Southern California, when I was in the military, spending time in like Los Angeles a couple weekends here and there was very eye opening. Even a decade ago,
Mm,
with how weird everyone was.
yeah,
There was no person who was doing their job they wanted to, and everyone was something they weren't, which is like, you go out to eat, and it's like, oh, I'm a screenwriter or I'm an actress, and you go out to a bar, it's like, oh, I'm actually a singer, I'm just bartending for money, and like,
they're all just trying.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to
Well,
say.
it's like no one was ever content with anything that they were doing, and they all felt like if they were just existed in the space and didn't, focus that as their main thing, like work on it every single day, that eventually it would just happen.
Mm,
And which is another thing which is totally true. Like most people, one of the worst death spirals people can get in is that they get stuck in something that's like they don't enjoy, but it's just bad enough to where they don't want to like make a radical change in their life because they're comfortable.
yeah, the comfort.
Comparatively, yeah, but comparatively, if you disliked what was happening and you were uncomfortable, you'd make a radical change. But if you were dissatisfied and comfortable, then you suffer through like that kind of mediocrity,
Hmm.
which is true. I mean, that's, you've got your sports ball and your your poker night with your buddies, and we're going out to the bars 3 times a week, like that type of stuff. I mean,
And you're all good.
that's just like a recipe for mediocrity.
Anyway,
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your
no,
session.
no, no.
It's interesting talking
I
with
think
you.
we've all enjoyed it very, very much. I think that's about it though. Not too much on my end today. I'm just gonna wait for the elections.
Yeah.
Almost everyone. You guys are like my damn TV. I turn on my Discord. Political! Vote for Trump! Vote for
He's
Kamala!
so
This
sick
country's
of it, this
screwed!
man.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm so sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Yo, just
I
enjoy
can't
it for another
imagine.
day or two, guys. Come on, just enjoy
Dude,
it.
but like
Think
the
of it
thing
as
is
like a
like you
football
don't
game
get
or an
like.
event.
Is your phone just a political bomb at the current moment?
It is, yeah.
Like
No, mine's not.
it's
Like I don't get any text or anything, but I have all that stuff turned off.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I'm getting texts. It's like notifications. It's the TV. It's my computer. Everywhere, bro. Like the warfare that they give with your attention is ridiculous here in the U.S.
Oh yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah,
They'll
we'll
be
see.
fighting
Like I
for
said,
attention.
I hope it's a landslide for Trump and it's over and done with. Um, if Kamala wins, I hope it's not like several days out shit show of like magically finding ballots and statistically impossible paper ballots coming in like the last election. Like
Mhm.
that would be really bad for the country. Like I want it to be like definitive one way or the other. Obviously, I want Trump over Kamala, but at the same time, it's like I just want it to be definitive so everyone can like be done with it and it doesn't become a drawn out thing.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Ugh. Yeah. When they say that Trump didn't accept the election results from, yeah.
Yeah, Hillary's the original election denier. Do you remember the whole Trump Russia hoax bollocks in 2016? Which was debunked, by the way, after like 2-3 year investigation. And Hillary was
Oh, the
crying,
Steele
being like,
dossier? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
no, didn't happen election. And then everyone thinks Trump was the creator of that in 2020. Because of the rigged election. Or the apparent rigged election, let's say.
Yeah. But it's not like a new thing. I mean, the party, the impeachment party left and right, where everybody just denies and impeaches and denies and impeaches, like left and right, is not. I mean, they were doing that shit back in like the 1700s, right?
Hmm. Anyway,
It's not a new thing. But
it's
yeah, watch the 4 hour
you, but
close on Bitcoin, by the way, with the weekly open. It'll be
okay,
interesting.
we'll do that. When does that close? 20
In 30
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah, if that
Yeah.
closes above, it'll look decent. Decent. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Viking. I'll...
Yeah. Sorry. Again, I'm sorry for hijacking your thing.
Nah,
It
nah,
was a
nah,
lot of
nah.
fun.
Not a
I just
problem.
saw you guys were on and was like, oh, yeah, I'm
Probably
just
got
going through
some
my
good
posts
clips from me.
Nice.
Nice. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, guys. Yeah, go Trump. Daddy Trump. Big Pappy
Take it easy,
Trump.
everybody.
See you later, lads and lasses. Sorry for the hijack. It's a good one. Anyway, see you guys later.